Hey, it's Ashley here. I am really excited to be channeling Archangel Uriel and Archangel Aurora tonight. I have been kind of on a fairy elemental kick because of the workshop that we did last weekend, which was super awesome. It was really fun. But I decided that this week, I wanted to channel an archangel, and Archangel Uriel stepped forward, and so he's here. And I'm really excited to channel him. I don't channel him too often. I find his frequency quite different than a lot of the other archangels. He's very, very interesting to feel. So if you are a person who likes to practice channeling or get a sense of the different archangels, definitely give him a try. Ask him to come in. He's really, he's just different. He's really cool, though. I really like his energy, even though it is quite different than a lot of the other archangels that I normally channel. So I'm excited to hear what his message is for tonight. Hey guys, I'm starting to see people pop on. So I'm just really curious as to what they're going to say. I don't have any particular questions. I just want to hear maybe for the next few weeks, what can we expect, and or how can they guide us so that we're all, doing the best that we can. And of course, if you guys have questions for Archangel Uriel or Archangel Aurora, feel free to post those in the comments and we'll just get started. I feel like they're kind of like, let's go. So we're going to just roll into it and we'll see what they have to say. Whew, they're coming in pretty strong right now, both of them from both sides. They typically are represented as like a twin flame couple, and they're confirming that. Okay, sorry. I've gotten some weird public safety alerts today, but at least I know that my system works on my phone. I apologize for that. So they are twin flames. They typically work together. Sometimes they don't, but they're saying Aurora is coming in and saying that they often do, especially for people who are looking for, she's showing like looking for their partners, whether that's a soul partner or twin flame partner. She's highlighting that her coloring, typically how I see Archangel Aurora, is kind of like the whole bandwidth of all the colors. It's like a rainbow compilation, kind of like how like crystals throw colors around when the sunlight goes through the prisms that are within. And it's just really cool that their coloring is kind of like that. Her coloring is like that. Archangel Uriel, I see him more as like a pale yellow color, but I'm not sure if that's the standard. I think Archangel Gabriel is typically represented by yellow or like a goldish yellow, but I feel like Archangel Uriel is more pale, light yellow for me anyway. But they're kind of coming together. I'm mentioning the colors because they're kind of washing me in these kind of waves of energy that have different colors. I just really feel they're kind of like pulsing this energy over me, and it's very lovely. It almost makes me feel like I just need to go to sleep. They're kind of making me really relaxed, which I don't mind. That's awesome. They're saying in the next few weeks, if we want to focus on a time frame within our reality, they're saying in the next few weeks there's going to be some challenges, particularly around weather, health, and safety across the world, around the globe, not just in the US, but all over. And they're highlighting that there's just a lot of changes for the planet as a whole. So just to be mindful and to remember, to be prepared for, particularly in my area, we're going to have a heat wave coming up here pretty soon. So having protection, having an understanding of what do we need individually to make us comfortable, where can we go if we need to be comfortable, and just to mind our energy, take care of ourselves. They're really both underscoring self-care, not to be in a space of fear that like, oh my gosh, this is happening, or there's going to be a lot of these events happening, or you need to be a prepper who's ready to handle an emergency for 5 years straight. It's more around just being mindful of your energy, where you're resonating, and as you move forward, how do you maintain your frequency? So what does it take to maintain your personal frequency, where you like to be comfortable? And that's what they want you guys to think about and observe as you move forward in the next few weeks, because this is going to bring in, Uriel saying, this is going to bring in some insights as to where you're at in your own frequency, but also how do you maintain your frequency actively? So you, as an active participant managing your energy, how do you manage your energy? Do you turn on some fun music when you feel down? Do you go and take a nap when you're tired? Do you eat healthy foods? Do you turn to junk food? Do you zombie out and watch 5 hours of TV every day? What are you doing in your time, or with your time, to maintain your frequency? Every action has an energy to it. So watching TV, while sure, watch TV, zone out, kind of unwind, sure, but in moderation, however that looks to you. So just be mindful as to what that is, because that is a frequency that if you're watching the news 24/7, you're probably going to be lower vibrationally, and you're going to have a harder time when you're presented with challenges, because you're already in this state of kind of like fight or flight. It can be really stressful if you watch the news all the time. I had to learn that lesson the hard way for a long time. I was a news junkie. I felt like I thrived off of knowing what was going on, but ultimately when I observed my activities and I observed how I was reacting and how I would feel after I watched the news, I realized I wasn't thriving at all. I was really stressed and really unsure of myself and where I was going, or what was important to me. And it was just a really big impact on my life. And so I decided, whoa, I got to step back. Sometimes it's not great to step back totally, because you may need to know some information to be safe, or to have a heads up so you know how to operate in society. And I'm thinking particularly like rule changes or law changes, that kind of thing. But ultimately, the daily news doesn't really benefit us if it's not going to be constructive or bring us joy or really spark that kind of happiness that they want us to focus on. Activities that bring in that happiness for us. So instead of watching the news, I switched to weaning off, like watching a lot of like podcast stuff, a lot of YouTube channels that focused on daily news, a lot of those kind of things. That's really where I was watching most of the news. I wasn't sitting there really watching TV particularly, but they're highlighting like how I transitioned out of that. In my experience was I changed to listening to audiobooks that were funny, or watching, there's so many really cool live stream music channels where you can live stream like essentially radio on YouTube or a podcast or Pandora, Spotify. There's all these different apps that you can listen to some high vibrational music. But I loved listening to audio tracks on YouTube, where it was like soundtracks from movies. Like there's this one channel, it's called Ambient Worlds, and it's like Lord of the Rings music, and it has cool imagery in the background. And they like stream in also like water sounds and different storm sounds and different things. So that really helped me I was still doing the similar activity, like listening while I was doing other things. but it was listening to different things that actually made me happy and helped me kind of wean myself off of doing 24-hour binge news cycle type stuff. So ultimately, it's really important to they're saying it's just important to observe what it is that makes you happy and what it is are you actually doing. What are you doing in the daytime? What are you doing when you're unwinding? How are you participating in the moment? They're highlighting the moment. So they're showing me in my mind moment and circling the word moment and like underlining it and making it bold neon. So the moment, in the moment, right now, what are you doing right now? How are you actively participating right now in the moment? And this is going to be some homework maybe for some of you who haven't really participated in that way in your own kind of observational study of how you are moving through your day. It gets really easy to kind of just float through and do tasks and then wind down in the evening. But ultimately, they're saying if you stay present and as you observe, there's no judgment. It's just being in a state of allowance. You're going to do whatever you want to do. So there's no judgment there, but just observe. And then over time, they're highlighting it's important to reflect and understand what you have observed and how does that make you feel? Do you feel good in yourself? Do you feel uplifted? Do you feel high vibrational, happy, fulfilled in the life that you are leading as you've observed it? Or are there some things that you can incorporate or change? So they're highlighting my news example as just something that I recognized, wow, this is not serving me the way I thought it was after I observed for quite a while how I was feeling after participating in that activity. And then I decided to transition out. And I still listen to the news occasionally. It's more to just kind of be aware of what's going on. And then I'm moving forward and I'm focusing on other things. And it doesn't bring me down. It doesn't stress me out nearly as much anymore as it was before. So, yeah, honestly, I'm seeing some comments here, and this last one's cracking me up. Thank you. I hope so. This person said, your baby's going to be so cute. Off topic. Thank you. I really hope she is, because that would be a bummer. Okay, I have a question here. We'll just dive into questions now. I'm feeling like they're already switching their attention to you guys. So this person is asking, can I have insight on my journey, please, or for my journey? They're saying Uriel's coming in on my right side, and he's saying your path is, he's showing a really broad road. And I've seen this image a few times. Like, it's very wide, it's sturdy, it's very broad, like you're in the middle of your path. There's no veering off of your path. And that's kind of the sense that I see, or I feel when I see that image of like a really broad, exaggerated broad road. And to represent your path. And I'm getting that Uriel saying that there's no veering off. You may make different decisions, but it's all part of the path. Trust yourself and know that as you move forward, your free will choice will be the expression of your soul, your spirit. And he's kind of making me feel like you're on your path, right? And you're making all these choices. You're choosing to focus on high vibrational things. You're choosing to explore a different modality. You're choosing to learn how to connect to your angels, and you're connecting to them every day. You're doing all of this work just throughout your day, and it's just a part of who you are. However that looks, it doesn't have to be exactly what we just said, but he's saying that each choice is an expression of your light, is an expression of your spirit, an expression of source. And to honor your choices and own them and recognize that they're part of the broader path for you. And he just wants you to feel like you got it. Like, you need to trust yourself. Don't worry about making a right or wrong choice. There are no right or wrong choices in any situation. And ultimately, there are lessons to be learned. And Aurora is holding her hands out, and she's just sending you some love and light energy to kind of reinforce that message for you. So I really hope that you feel that and that resonates with you. They really are a cool team. Their energy feels so good together. So I hope that resonates for you. Amy is stating or asking, in a recent channeling, she was told to focus on freelance work. She would love to know more specifics on what kind of freelance work I should focus on, please. I'm debating between jewelry making, audiobook narration, blogs, healing, etc. Thank you so much. Wow, that's a lot of really cool, different, very different options for you, Amy. Let's see what they have to say. They're saying yes. And how I'm hearing them when I say they're saying it at the same time, and it kind of feels like layered, like a man and a woman are responding at the same time in my head. Excuse me. They're saying yes, freelance work will be a good addition to your current schedule as you see fit. The purpose of focusing on the freelance work is to show you that there are alternatives to your current situation. Like, you're not just stuck in whatever job you're in, or you're not just stuck where you're at. Like, you can add things in, and that can change the trajectory of how you move forward in your regular work or your full path. So if you wanted to focus on one particular style of work for your freelance work, they're saying don't feel like you have to be so locked into one thing, especially like you have jewelry making, audiobook narration, blogs, and healing. 4 of those things, really, all of them, could be tied in together with focusing on high vibrational themes. They're saying maybe explore bringing in multiple tasks or multiple styles of work, and surrounding. They're kind of presenting this interestingly. So they're saying try them all out. If you're resonating with all of them, you can weave them together to create a business, a freelance business, a small business, part-time business for you that highlights the underlying intentions, underlying light, the underlying morals that you want to represent in your business. So if you say want to focus on healing as a principle that you support and you want to work with and help people to accomplish, you can do a healing modality like angelic Reiki. You can learn angelic Reiki and offer healings. You can also write a blog about healing and how to process things and going within maybe your own journey, and or highlighting the different modalities and delving into all of the intricacies that you are interested in with healing in a blog format. You can also do audiobook narration as part of your business. It's a separate stream of income where you're focusing on books that provide tools or methods for self-help healing. Jewelry making, you can create pieces that are to amplify the energy of healing. Many people, and I know a lot of angelic Reiki healers or Reiki healers in general, that love to have their the Reiki symbols or different symbols, different pieces of jewelry that really help them boost and amplify their energy. And it's an individual choice, by far, very individual. But that can all be tied back to healing. So they don't want you to feel like you can only do jewelry, or you can only do healing, or you can only do audiobook narration. You can do all of those things, and it's part of your overarching business to promote healing and love and light in the world. And these are the modalities or the methods in which you resonate. Now, they're showing you kind of weaving them in as you feel comfortable, so it doesn't have to happen all at once. And I talk about this a lot when I'm doing my Lightworkers mentorship program with mentees. I highlight exactly what they just said, bringing in several streams of income or several streams of services or products in your business that are going to help you resonate with a lot of people. Bigger audiences mean more likely you're going to have someone book with you, have someone buy your product, have someone visit your website. So ultimately, all of these things can work together. You just have to kind of look at, how do you want to frame it? What do you want to see your legacy from this small business or this freelance work represent? And they're saying that you can even weave in different other styles, other things that really inspire you, but don't feel like you have to mash them all together or have it all planned out right away. This can take years to build a business. It can take years to build a brand or to build a platform that really resonates with you and represents you as a person and soul being of love and light. And if you want to start with one, explore it, check it out, see how it feels. If you want to start with jewelry making, start getting some material, start practicing, start designing, drawing, looking at what you resonate with, like what kind of style do you really like, and what are the resources that you're going to need to implement or take to make the products that you want to be able to sell. So you can start with that, or audiobook narration. You're starting to read out loud, you're recording it, you're practicing, you're getting that audio equipment, whatever the case may be, in whatever path. They're really showing it's up to you. They're not saying that you have to do any one of these first or above all of the others. They can all be harmonious together. So don't worry about forgetting something or not picking the right one. I hope that resonates with you, Amy. That's really exciting. And as you guys can tell, I'm super passionate about small business work, and Archangel Uriel and Aurora are really supporting you, Amy, and cheerleading you on to just go with the flow, have fun. It doesn't have to be profitable right away, but you do want to be very realistic as to how much time it takes, how much resources you have to utilize to produce a product or a service. And how realistic is it to continue that service or continue making that product, and what do you need if you wanted to create this into a full-time business? What would you need to be supported where you're at now and where you want to go in the future? So there's a lot to think about, and it's all exciting work. I love that stuff. Okay, let's see here. This is an interesting question. Can you please ask if there's anything else I can do to improve on protection? Aurora's coming in straight on that one, and she's saying, trust and know that you are protected. You are surrounded by love and light. You can establish your clear boundaries as you see fit. Make them as clear as possible. Write them down on a piece of paper. Communicate them verbally to reinforce the intention behind those boundaries for yourself. And ultimately, just trust and know that that's taking place. You don't have to question it. Protection, honestly, when a lot of people focus on, oh, I need to be protected, I need to block out the low vibrational beings, I need to really make sure I'm okay. That's a very fear-based mindset. Whereas if you just trust and know you are surrounded by love and light, you've already declared, or however you want to declare your boundaries. I say, I'm only going to interact with high vibrational beings of love and light, and no low vibrational beings are allowed in my home, in my energy. They are not allowed to approach me unless there is a specific reason, maybe for a client to have a conversation and learn from something. But that means Archangel Michael, my whole team is right there, and they're leaving as soon as that conversation is done. So there are some, caveats to your boundaries as you can set them. But ultimately, however you feel comfortable, you just got to state it and then move forward. You can't really be in that space of I always need to be protected, because then you're going to be drawing that fact that you always need to be protected, and the low vibrational energy is just going to come straight to you. And Archangel Michael, #1 bouncer. I highly recommend, if you haven't invited him to live in your home, please do so. He is a badass, and he is one that is not going to take anything from any sort of being, high vibrational or low vibrational, and he can kick energies out, clear them out, remove them, and he's pretty awesome. So he's my #1 bouncer. Jesus is also pretty awesome. He can come in, and he's just as badass as Archangel Michael too. So if you need some heavy duty protection, just have Archangel Michael and Jesus be around you all the time. Just ask them to. That's no skin off their nose. They can be wherever they need to be at any time. There's no time or space constraints for them. So if that's something that makes you feel good, ask them to do that for you. I hope that clears that up or gets to your question. It was kind of broad of a question, but it's really about the energy, the intention. Once you set it, don't worry about it. Don't be in that space of you're going to be fearful of an energy coming towards you or interacting with you in a way you don't like. If you do have an interaction you don't like, just be like, I don't like that. That's not going to happen anymore. And here's what I expect moving forward when I work with energy or spirit. So again, free will choice reigns supreme here on Earth. And as a human, we have that opportunity to express that choice, and it has to be respected by spirit. So definitely make sure you are expressing your choices. Okay, wondering if there is some direction for me at this time, please. Uriel's coming in on this, and he's making me feel like you're kind of just stagnant a little bit, and there just needs to be a little bit more oomph behind maybe getting out and moving around a bit, moving your energy, moving your body, trying to shake off kind of that stagnant energy is going to be important as you want to propel forward on your path. There's going to be quite a few choices that you're going to be able to make here in the future, but getting that cleared out, that energy is going to be important. So he's saying, just ask us to come in and remove that stagnant energy, transmute that energy. And he's saying also focus on what's happening in your mind. If you need to clarify or reduce, he's showing like condense your thoughts. Essentially, if you need to clean up your thought processes, staying with high vibrational thoughts, assessing, weeding that garden that is your mind, reviewing and transmuting what you don't like or what doesn't serve you is going to be really important, especially for your energy over time. So trying to do that as many times as possible throughout the day. Whenever it's just really obvious or it comes up, make sure that you are handing those thoughts off to your team and transmuting that energy. They're saying this is going to be important as you move forward. Okay, here's an interesting question. Can they give any insight on the coronavirus vaccine? They're not, well, this is pretty broad of a question. They're saying this is a choice for everyone to make. If you choose to participate with the vaccine or not, that is your choice. There are consequences either way. Some of those may be higher vibrational consequences versus lower vibrational consequences. But ultimately going within and feeling and knowing where you stand on how you feel to receive the vaccine or not to receive the vaccine is going to be the ultimate factor in how you move forward. Don't allow yourself to be influenced by beings or by conversations that are not fully understood by you. So if you need to go and learn the science behind the vaccine or learn the basic principles or get a better understanding of what that vaccine looks like, whichever one you are looking at, and if you need to delve in and do some research on that, feel free to do that. Be empowered to go and do research. And then once you make that decision, you have an informed decision on your hands. So feel free and feel confident to go forward and do the research. If you just want to go with your gut instinct, that's your choice as well. He's really focusing in on the choice element of this. Whether you do or don't, there's no right or wrong. There are a lot of lessons being learned by scientists who are seeing the evolution of the coronavirus, as well as where does the vaccines that have been developed, where do they stand, and how are they going to stand as we move forward. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so understanding your internal guidance system as you interact with information is going to be important as well. You always use discernment. Always question, where is this information coming from? Does this make sense? Is this a verified source? Is this something that you can find in 3 to 5 different locations and they all say the exact same thing? Are they maybe advertising, or they're showing, like, are there intentions underlying a message that maybe is not intended to be for your highest good? You can kind of feel that when you see different ads, when you see different posts, you kind of feel the intentions, that everything is energy. Remember that. So as you move forward, whether you get it or not, it's all up to you. But make sure that you feel informed, that you're actively making a decision and not just allowing others to make a choice for you. There are some environments in where this is much harder to exercise that choice, because maybe you're a healthcare worker and you have to get the vaccine, but you don't really like it. They're showing that there have been a few examples. I've talked to several healthcare workers that have been having this experience, and as you move forward, they're just saying for healthcare workers, there are some changes that may be made, but ultimately it's going to be, where are you comfortable? Are you going to be moving forward, making that choice or not? And what does that mean for your job, for your livelihood, and for your skill set and how you move forward? Ultimately, they're boiling it down to make sure you're making your decision and it's backed by your intuitive knowledge as well as some active knowledge. Just understand what it is that you're choosing. And they're kind of stepping back on that. I think that's going to be important, not just for the vaccine right now, but for a lot of different conversations that here in America, we're having a ton of different conversations about really, really big issues, big topics, big things that we really need to be processing and moving forward from or moving forward through. And again, using discernment, going within, understanding yourself and understanding where you stand and what your beliefs are and how you can move forward in a way that is resonating with your highest vibrational self or your higher self is ultimately all that we can do. And being open and having conversations with each other is going to be really important. That's just my 2 cents, though. Christy's saying she loves watching Beverly Hillbillies, I Love Lucy, the Carol Burnett Show, really funny shows. Yes, that helps her transition her energy when she needs to shift out of maybe a funk or a lower vibrational energy. This person is traveling to Egypt in October. Are there any concerns or things they want me to focus on? Aurora is saying, make sure that you don't have set expectations. Have an awareness as to what it is you need to do to get there, how to be when you're there, where you're going, kind of what you're doing, but don't expect it to be a certain way, because those expectations may not be met, and that may lead to you not having as good of a time, or you not having a sense of that connection that you're looking for. So just kind of go in there wide open, just ready to have fun, ready to see what the experience is going to be. Be very flexible and understanding with yourself and others around you. That's what they're focusing on for you. So I hope that resonates. Going to Egypt would be so cool. Yeah, just I'm really getting a sense of you need to be flexible. Just go with the flow, be in that energy, and just have fun. Oh, this person, I've listened to your channeling for a long time. Big difference, or maybe just me. Anyway, your channeling is sharper, and even your voice. I'm very happy for you. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Yeah, over time, you know, everyone, if you put enough practice into something, you're just going to get better and better and better. So I've been channeling for every week for the last 3 years almost. Starting in October, it'll be 3 full years of channeling for me. Just doing YouTube, just doing my live events for Channeling with Love, where we're at on Facebook. And that's a lot of practice in addition to my readings and the Reiki sessions that I do and all the other work that I do. I'm just really, grateful that you mentioned that, and thank you so much for letting me know, because that makes me feel really good, because I put a lot of work into just getting better, and being able to understand spirit more is just definitely a passion of mine, and it's just something that I love to do. So thank you so much. This person loves to listen to miracle frequencies on YouTube. That's a brilliant option for just something that you can have on in the background and listen to, and let that wash through your energy, instead of like just having the news on the TV in the background. That's very different, very, very different energy there. This person is thinking of 1,000 years of peace, really focusing on it. That's beautiful. This person is asking, is there any advice to help us find our soul family, partners, and or twin flame? They're both coming straight into my crown chakra in the back of my head, and they're kind of just right there. So they're saying, if you wish to recognize your soul family, look around you, feel around you. Your soul family may be in spirit form as well as in physical form. Observe the relationships that you have with your family, your friends, your coworkers. Maybe there is this large impact that has been made on your life by a stranger. Any and all of those beings can be part of your soul family. So just kind of stepping back and recognizing that we come into this life with a contract in mind. We agree to be children to parents that we need to learn from or would like to interact with, and vice versa. So parents also have that part as part of their contract. They're going to have a kid, and this is who that person is going to be, and here's the lessons that they're going to learn from that individual, as well as the random strangers that you encounter that just really make a huge impact on your life, or people that you find just as part of your life. They're like, it's like they've always been there since the moment you've met them. There's lots of people who you can learn lessons from, lessons that may be really hard for us to learn from, as well as really joyous and easy and exciting to learn from as well. So there's always that scale as far as what lessons go. I don't want to say good or bad, because all of them are important. It's not about good or bad. It's about what we're learning and how we move through things, whether that's a high vibrational or low vibrational experience. It's just they're all important to experience. Partners often come up in our lives to teach us lessons, to help us reinforce or move through lessons. And this is also something that we set out in our contract. And typically we're have a clear, we don't, when we're here in this experience and we have this amnesia, we don't remember who we are, but our higher self and our partner's self, they have a very clear understanding as to when we're going to meet, how we're going to meet, how it's going to go, what lessons are going to learn, just like with your family or other soul family people. Twin flames are the same. It's just going to be a part of that divine timing. Some twin flames never incarnate in the same experience at the same time. So they're retracting that because I said it a little different. So they're saying some in this experience, in the right now where we are at, may not have a twin flame that's incarnated here on earth with them at this time. And that's okay, because we can learn from our soul partners, our soulmates, our soul family, other beings that we are really focused on at that time. If they are not incarnated here on earth, they're on the other side, providing support to us spiritually through angels, through starseed family members. I can't tell you how many people I've seen have twin flames on the other side that are like providing them support through their starseed family connections. It's really fascinating to see, but it's just a matter of them looking out for us, and we have also done that for them. There's tons of examples that I've seen in my readings and channelings with people that they've had experiences where they're the one providing the guidance and support on the spiritual side for their twin flame. So ultimately I'm asking, like, what's the bottom line advice here? They're saying, look at your surroundings, understand and feel, and you can ask yes, no questions as to which person is playing what role. So if it's a family member, what kind of role are they playing in your life? If it's a love partner, are they your twin flame? Are they a soulmate? Are they just a soul family member who's helping you learn a lesson? How are they interacting with you? And you can go into your inner self and ask that question and feel in your physical vessel that yes, no kind of energy. So when I feel a yes, it's like a whoosh, like a electricity goes through my heart chakra, and it's just really uplifting, and I feel like expansive. When I get a no, I feel like whoosh, like I'm being pushed back, or my stomach hurts really bad, or I just get this like dull feeling. So they're saying basically observe what's around you, and if you don't feel that you've found your soulmate or your twin flame, ask your team to bring in signs or guidance to help you connect with that being, whether that being be on the other side of the veil or here on earth. And they're saying to everything is in divine timing. So there's no need to stress or, worry or really push really hard, fight that energy current to find your twin flame. Just allow things to be as they need to be, and just trust and know that you're going to connect with your twin flame or your soulmate or whoever you need to connect with in this life, because your team's going to help make it happen. You've got a contract that's going to help make it happen. Source, divine timing, that universal energy is going to make that happen. So it's just a matter of enjoying the ride and observing and feeling and being in the moment and feeling that energy. They're saying it's not a concrete task list that you can take to find your twin flame. There's nothing in the universe that is as concrete, but ultimately just trust and go with your guidance, trust and go with the energy, and enjoy the ride. I hope that resonates for you or for anyone else who's looking for that twin flame connection or soul partner, soul family, soulmate connection. Okay, Mina is asking, or she's stating that her energy has been so low this week. She's trying so hard to think positive. It is hard when you get news about families dying due to COVID-19 variant. I'm really sorry to hear that, Mina. Yeah, that is really hard. She has family overseas in Southeast Asia, and it's really bad right now. Listening to music and gardening is really helping. I'm really happy, Mina, that you know kind of some go-to things that you can do to keep yourself grounded and keep that energy flowing and to try and stay positive. I'm sending you a lot of love and light. And if anyone else feels or resonates with sending Mina some love and light, please do so. A big hug to you, Mina. That's really hard, and I'm sorry to hear about your family. And that goes to anyone else who's also in that same boat. Like, there's so many people who are being affected by not just COVID, but by a lot of factors that are kind of coming up all at the same time. So I'm just sending you a lot of love, and I'm sorry to hear that about your family. But thankfully, you have gardening and music. And I would just say, too, think about your energy being really low. When you feel your energy is low, Mina, maybe that's just a sign you need to step back and just go really slow with yourself, go really slow with your daily activities, just slow everything down and just float a little bit. Give yourself some space. Take a nap if you need to, especially if you're not thinking positively. Maybe you just need to go take a nap and then you can come back feeling refreshed and move forward as you have to keep going and you have to, keep your energy up. So again, big hugs to you, Mina. I'm really sorry to hear that about your family. Let's see here. Christy is asking, when will my path open up so I stop hitting a brick wall? Moving, please and thank you. They're saying that brick wall, Chrissy, is an illusion. There's no brick wall there. You just feel like there's a brick wall there. That energy, you're expecting it to flow in a certain way, and it may not be flowing in the way you're expecting. And so you feel like you're being stagnant, or that energy is just kind of like all-time stop. But it's not really there. So Uriel is just saying it may be a good time for you to assess what is it that you really want on your path and in your life, and just go with the flow and how to make that happen. Just feel inspired. Don't overthink it. There doesn't need to be a lot of, they're showing you trying to like run through the brick wall, but your mind is creating this brick wall, almost like a runner's wall. I'm getting that image. I don't know what movie it was called or what the movie is called, but it's Simon Pegg in it, and he's like running and he hits this wall, the runner's wall, and he can't move anymore. And it's just all in his mind as to what's going on there and why he needs to stop. And they're showing that this is the same for you. It's all in your mind, your expectations, and maybe you're doing a little bit, not doing too much, but maybe trying a little bit to make something happen that it isn't really yet meant to happen. So just take a step back, just assess. Take a few weeks, like they said in the beginning, take a few weeks to observe your energy and observe what's going on around you. And don't stress or worry about it. It's going to all line up. And they're showing that brick wall is going to become transparent. And then you're just going to be like, oh, what was the problem? I can't remember. And you're just going to walk right through it. So they're showing you just breezing through that transparent brick wall that just was in your mind. Sorry, I bumped my computer table here. And they're just saying, don't worry about it. So I hope that resonates for you. I know that's not something that's easy to navigate, but just allowing things to be as they need to be is ultimately the best way to move forward. I've been getting kind of some weird blips in my week or last few weeks where things may, could have been super stressful or could have gone a different way. And I'm just like, you know what? It's just going to be what it is. And then it just kind of unravels, and it's like I can't even remember what was happening 2 weeks ago. So it's something that we just, wherever we send our energy, that's where it's going to go. And just know that you're doing fine. You're on your path. Things are just getting lined up, and they'll be falling into place soon. So Amy has a question. She was hoping to get some insight on future side business as a psychic medium. Is now the right time to go out there and give readings professionally? Both of them said yes. Yes, now is the time. We only have this moment. So always now is the time to offer your light, offer your skills, offer yourself to help others. There are ways that you can go about it to where if you're having maybe some self-confidence issues, or trusting issues in your messaging or how you're interacting with spirit, just keep practicing. Practice every day. Channel every single day as much as you can. Of course, mind your energy. You can't channel like all the time. You have to be able to rest and be in the moment. But they're highlighting that this is really important to step forward with and offer the support for others if you are resonating with being a medium, because so many people need guidance and support, and they need to reach out to spirit, and they don't know how to do that on their own. And so you can definitely help them receive guidance and point them in the right directions to help their own awakening process expand and start to really develop. So they're really highlighting, yes, look at that as a potential side business. Start small, practice a lot, and just have fun. Ultimately, have fun with it. That's something I always remind myself. If I'm not having fun, I need to take a break, because this is like my favorite thing to do, is to channel and to connect with spirit and to help spirit come forward and help others, because it just feels so good, and it's really fun, and it's super interesting, and you get to ask so many cool questions that I don't really know what else I would do with my time if I wasn't doing this as a professional medium. So ultimately, feel it out, see what feels good to you, what's fun for you. Think about it, be really strategic about it. You don't need a lot of resources starting out to start a mediumship business. So think about, what do you have? What do you want? Where do you want to go in a few years? And yeah, just have fun with it. Again, I hope, Amy, that you get jazzed about that and you dive into it soon, because we need a lot more light workers to step forward. Okay. Whoa, Beth is saying there was a big storm in her area. Crazy. Just looking through comments here. Beth, yeses and nos all day long. Yes. As you're learning channeling, yeses and nos are something that is a really amazing tool to have at your disposal, because you can check in with yourself, feel the yes, feel the no, and trust and move forward with that response. You don't need to have a convoluted image that comes in, and the clairaudience that comes in, and all of these extra sensory, pieces of information right out the gate to be really confident in your communication with spirit. A yes, no, using oracle cards, just in being in the moment, allowing yourself to feel that energy is ultimately where it all starts. And then it's just about practice and building on your confidence and asking new questions and putting yourself in situations where you're engaging with lots of different types of beings. That's one thing that I loved, and I'll definitely throw this out. And then I think they're going to call this a night, but one thing that I started doing when I first started channeling was I created my board of trustees. And it was more like my advisory board that I would go to connect with spirit and ask questions of my own life so I could receive guidance and support and navigate what I was going through as I was moving forward. And my board of trustees has grown quite a bit. It's a big board. There's lots and lots of members, but that's like my go-to list of beings that I love to connect with. But I first had to get introduced to all of them. I had to get comfortable with all of them. There's many different types of beings on my board, and there's starseed or star guides, the galactic alien beings. There's the fairies. There's archangels, ascended masters, my own ancestors, my family and friends that I know who've passed on. And there's just a ton of different combinations of historical or famous people that you resonate with. You can always do that. And it's just so exciting to see that combination. And then you get a really good sense of who are you most comfortable channeling as you develop your skill. And as you move forward, you can resonate. Maybe you really like the angels, like Archangel Uriel here and Archangel Aurora. They're both amazing. I love connecting with them. And their energy is very different than, say, my great-grandmothers, who they come in a band. They all hang out together when they come and talk to me. And they know me so well because they knew me in this life as well as my spiritual self, my soul being. But I see them in a very different way. I feel them in a different way than I would Archangel Uriel or Archangel Aurora. So it's interesting to get a sense of that. And as you are practicing professionally, working with people, you'll get a sense of their great-grandparents, their nanas, their papas, their moms and dads, their family versus Jesus or Mother Mary or Archangel Metatron or other beings that they're wanting to connect with, or their guardian angels. So ultimately, there's lots of range here, and you can just explore it. And I highly recommend anyone who's interested in exploring that energy, just practice and ask whoever's going to come in, be very specific. Say, Archangel Metatron, please come in. Archangel Aurora, please come in. Archangel Uriel, come in. And ask them questions directly and get a sense of how you feel them, because each of us are so different that it's insane. My style, my technique is going to be way different than yours. So it's just all about practice. And yeah, Michelle has a good question that's kind of related to all of that. Are people in spirit ever low vibrational? Typically not, Michelle, because we are in a very contrast filled reality here on Earth, this 3D reality, where there's a lot of highs and lows, darks and lights, good versus bad. It's very, very contrasted. In heaven, it's not as contrasted. Everything's love and light. You don't have those ups and downs, those really hard days, those really high vibrational days. Everything is pretty much love, blissed out all the time. So typically people in spirit, like our loved ones, everyone who goes to heaven, which everyone goes to heaven, spoiler alert, we all go there, they are not really in a space where they drop very low. Is there any advice on how to have a stronger connection with people in spirit when the connection seems weak or the information is not very clear? Yes, that is a great question. So when I feel like there's someone that's really far away, maybe their energy just feels really faint, or I feel like they're standing on the other side of the room, they don't want to get close to me for whatever reason, I ask them, can they please come in? Can they please step closer? Can I feel them more? Can they turn up their energy, turn up the heat? I imagine like a dial on the stove where I'm turning up the dial and I'm turning up that energy so I can feel them more strongly. And they're going to oblige because they want you to have a stronger connection with them and to hear them better and to feel more confident in that connection. Same goes for if they come in too strong. Dial it down, step back, please lower your energy in intensity, not maybe in frequency, but in intensity, so that way you can be a little bit more comfortable and not completely, overwhelmed with energy. So there's both, excuse me, both sides of that. You can ask them to turn it up or turn it down if you need to. And when the information feels like it's not very clear, or it's not like you're not really feeling like you're getting the whole picture, you can ask them if there is a way to share the information in a different way with you. We have all of these different senses. We have clairsentience, claircognizance, that's clair-knowing, clairvoyance, that's seeing, clairaudience, hearing, and there's a few others there, but those are the kind of the main ones. We have all these different ways of interacting. And as we're moving through the world, just in our regular life, connecting with physical people, we're picking up on cues, tones, sounds, images, touch, feeling, their own energetic vibrations. We're picking up on all this information that tells us a complete story in the moment. So when you're in your workspace, or you go into the office and someone is really pissed off, you know it because you can feel it. You can feel the intensity. You can feel the tenseness of the energy of the room, or vice versa. If someone's exuberant, they're so happy, they're so elated, there's, amazing things are happening for you guys in your workspace, that all uplifts the energy. Everyone's in a good mood. So you can feel all that information. It's the same with spirit. You can feel the information. You can feel it through images, through colors, through kind of impressions. Often impressions of maybe gender, male, female, androgynous, or impressions of size. That's something that's really helpful to practice. Impressions of time are helpful to practice, especially if you want to be more of a professional medium, or if you want to be able to give timelines to things. Having a sense of time, even though spirit doesn't really operate with time, they know we are using time in this reality, so it helps them to kind of give a framework for how we are going to be able to answer a question from a client. So you can get all this information. Ultimately, it's just a matter of practice, and it's a matter of opening up and recognizing that information can come in all different ways. You don't have to expect it to be one certain way. Like Archangel Aurora and Archangel Uriel, they're so different, yet they work so well together. And I feel them in a very blended, kind of expanded energy that's behind me, and it's coming straight through my crown in the back of my head. How I'm getting information from them is they're putting these thoughts and ideas and knowledge in my mind. I'm also hearing them. I'm also getting a sense of their coloring, or images of them moving, holding their hands up, how Aurora did earlier. Everything kind of comes together, and it's just a matter of practicing and being open to getting all of that to blend together in one moment. And it definitely takes some practice, because if you're getting words, or you're getting sounds, or you're getting thoughts in your mind all at the same time, that can be a little discombobulating when you're trying to spit it out to tell someone at the same time how things are going. So you can ask them to go faster or slower, or rephrase things if they need to rephrase something, or say it in a different way, or give you a different sign, to help you get the information. Ultimately, Spirit is never going to leave you hanging. They're going to want to tell you the answer if we need to know the answer. Sometimes we should not know the answer because that can impact decision making that needs to happen for like maybe a life contract. Sometimes it's more of a free will choice thing where there is no right or wrong answer and we get to choose. Excuse me. So there's really ultimately this need. Spirit wants to help us get information, and they're going to not leave us hanging. So they're going to loop back around if we don't get everything just right, or if we don't get the full picture. They'll come back around. They'll give signs. They'll restate the guidance or give us more information as they come in, so it's layered. So ultimately, overall, Michelle, long story short, it's just a matter of just allowing whatever comes in to come in. Ask them to dial it up, turn it down if you need to, speed it up, slow it down. I mean, practice, practice, practice. One thing for me, when I first started, I had a really hard time getting a sense of time frames. So people would ask me, I'm interested in moving. When do you think I'm going to move? And so that's a question of, are you going to make it happen? Are you going to make the choices? Or are you going to find a new job? There's all these free will choice things that come into play. But their angels may say, oh, yeah, they're definitely going to move in 6 months. And they evolved from showing me the number 6 to showing me a calendar and counting out the months, or flipping the calendar to show me 6 months in June of 2022, something like that. So, which that's more like 11 months right now. But anyway, I'm not counting specifically. It can evolve and change. Your yeses and nos can change. So it's really, you guys can tell I'm all about learning how to channel and practicing and technique. And with that, I do want to highlight Kristin Davies, who I learned how to channel from in her very first course in 2018, is having a Mediumship for Beginners course starting in October. And then the Mediumship 102 course is starting in November of this year. So we have a little bit of a break, August and September. She's not going to be having any big events. But that mediumship class is coming up in October, and I'll post her website in the comments below this video on Facebook and when I get this video on YouTube, so you guys can get that link if you're interested in really honing in and crafting your or building your technique up, because it's just a matter of practice. And I love to observe other mediums and how their style works. And just get a sense of how they move through the information, because we're all different, but it's really fun to watch other people and watch their techniques. So feel free to check it out, and I'll leave those links in the comments. And I'm seeing here lots of questions around, Christy's saying, are you having a baby shower? Oh, yes. You know, I was going to have a virtual one, but my family threw me one already. So I'm probably not going to do anything more. I don't have a P.O. box, but Christy, the thought is really touching. Thank you so much for thinking about me or asking about that. That in and of itself is really kind, and that's so sweet that you would want to send me a gift. I really appreciate it. So no worries, though. Yeah, that's so awesome though. Chrissy is also asking or saying her ears have been ringing, and at times her ears feel like they're muffled. Yeah, that's energy coming straight through. Your angels are coming in and trying to reach you through your ear chakras. Wow, this is awesome. Once you channeled Isis, I think, and I felt really tall all of a sudden. It was strange. Yeah. That's totally something that can happen. Your own sense of your own energy can expand out. Isis, she is a very expansive energy, so that doesn't surprise me that you felt very tall and kind of larger than you normally do. With that, guys, that was awesome questions. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're a little bit over time. I really appreciate you guys asking all those awesome questions and hanging out, and I really, really appreciate it. We are going to be moving into August here soon, which is blowing my mind. I don't really have any events scheduled right now. Definitely in Channeling with Love on Facebook, look for some events to be posted for the next few weeks. I'm going to be trying to get some fresh beings in here so we can chat with some new people and just have some fresh energy and see who wants to share some messages with us. So look for those. And I just want to say again, thank you for hanging out and have a lovely rest of your evening and a good rest of your week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.